We will go ahead and call this meeting of May 1st, 2017 to order and ask that you stand with us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I pledge allegiance to the flag of Michigan and to the state for which it stands, two beautiful peninsulas united by a bridge of steel, where equal opportunity and justice to all is our ideal. Sandy, could we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Shippers,
Here.
Spelman,
Here.
Wolfile,
Here.
Meinhardt,
Here.
Mayor Filkins.
Here. This time we're going to look for an approval of the agenda as presented.
A motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
Councilmember Spelman,
Yes.
Wolfile,
Yes.
Meinhardt,
Yes.
Shippers,
Yes.
Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries. This time we'll open the floor for our first public comment. We do ask if you come forward for public comment, if you would state your name and then write down your name and address for the clerk, and if you would also keep your comments to 3 minutes or less.
My name is Dave Gregg, and I was last here about a year and a half ago when the council was looking at the new building program, reinitiating the permits here. And at that time, I had some reservations about the program and was here asking you to look further into it. And we're a year and a half down the road, and this program is not working well. Costs have gone up. My permit that I just got was not quite, but nearly doubled what it was before. And the program, there's holdups, you know, it's just not working. And I think it's time the council reviewed this program and looked at other options or options that might make this work better. And that's it.
Would you say your last name is Dave?
Greg. Dave Gregg.
Oh, yeah.
Greg. So I encourage you to start dialogue on that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Don Koschmider from Cadillac. Here to talk tonight about medical marijuana facilities. 9 and 10 News just carried it the 20th of April, just a few days back. The city of Everett and Big Rapids are both considering opting in or opting out of the new legislation that goes into effect this December. They're going to start issuing licenses from the state of Michigan for medical marijuana growers, processors, secure transporters, provisioning centers, and safety compliance facilities. Some municipalities are going to opt out of this, and I believe that it should be totally up to the locals, local control. But we're being fed some facts that are not facts, and some of the things that you're hearing from Colorado, the horror stories and the money that they're not making and all the problems that's coming from the legalization of marijuana, these aren't truths, they're lies. And I'd like to touch on that more with you at another time, but I'm restrained to 3 minutes here. I'll stay for the meeting, and I'll talk to you in a couple more minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no one else, we'll go ahead and close public comment. And that'll move us on to the approval of the consent agenda, which this evening includes the minutes from our work session on April 17th, and then also our minutes from the regular meeting on April 17th.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Support.
Councilmember Wolfile?
Yes.
Meinhardt?
Yes.
Shippers?
Yes.
Spelman.
Yes.
Mayor Folkins?
Yes, motion carries. Okay, this evening we have a proclamation, and I see some folks that might be here to accept the proclamation if you'd like to come forward. And the proclamation this evening is to acknowledge Older Americans Month.
Can I go there too?
No,
Can I
sir.
go there too?
We all can go, can't we?
We're all a little older.
You ladies can come right up if you would like.
Come on, right up here.
Come see us.
And then just.
Thank you for
turn
being
around
here.
for the camera.
Come on right up here by us. Right up here, Gail. Yeah, and then face the camera out over there. There we go. Hi.
Just in time, Glee. Okay. Whereas Cadillac includes older Americans who richly contribute to our community, and whereas we acknowledge that what it means to age has changed for the better. Whereas Cadillac is committed to supporting older adults as they take charge of their health, explore new opportunities and activities, and focus on independence. And whereas Cadillac can provide opportunities to enrich the lives of individuals of all ages by involving older adults in the redefinition of aging in our community, promoting home and community-based services that support independent living, encouraging older adults to speak up for themselves and others, and providing opportunities for older adults to share their experiences. Now therefore, I, Carla J. Filkins, Mayor of the City of Cadillac, do hereby proclaim May 2017 to be Older Americans Month. I urge every resident to take time during this month to acknowledge our older adults and the people who serve them as influential and vital parts of our community. Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Next thing on our agenda is communications with Sandy.
Yes, the first request is for the closure of Linden Street between West Division and Chestnut from 8 a.m. to 8:45 a.m. on May 29th, 2017 for the Rotary Club Stride for Strive 5K Run and Walk event.
I'll make a motion to approve the request by the Rotary Club to close Linden Street between West Division and Chestnut from 8 to 8:45 a.m. on May 29th for the Strive for Strive race and run and walk event.
Support.
Good job, Sherry.
Councilmember Meinhardt?
Yes.
Shippers?
Yes.
Spelman.
Yes.
Wolfile?
Yes.
Mayor Folkins?
Yes, motion carries.
The next request is to approve the parade route for the Memorial Day Parade to be held on May 29th, 2017 at 10 a.m. with parade set up on Harris Street beginning at 8 a.m.
Okay, just one question. So basically, same setup and route and everything as we've always done in the past.
Steve, would you
right?
like to come forward to answer any questions or tell us anything new that might be going on?
We requested to have Harris Street closed off that morning because of the new city parking lot or the city park having so much in there that we can't put big vehicles in there. So we have to put all the big vehicles on Harris Street. And we put all the walkers and stuff over in the city park, and then we'll use the opposite side too. But that's only the big change this year. We still do our Navy thing and the parade and our ceremony afterwards.
The ceremony at the stadium. Very nice.
Yeah. Any other questions?
No, just want to make sure it was the same as we've always had.
It's normally just that we're gonna close Harris Street off at 8 o'clock in the morning, keep people out of there so we can put some fire
Does that
trucks and
need to
stuff
be
in
part
there.
of the motion that Harris Street is closed?
It's on, it was
It
on
is
the
in there.
Yeah.
It's on the
Yes.
thing.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks,
We're just gonna close it off early.
thanks for coming in tonight.
You bet.
I'll go ahead and make the motion to approve the parade route for the Memorial Day Parade to be held on May 29th of this year at 10 a.m. with parade set up on Harris Street beginning at 8 a.m.
Support.
Councilmember Shippers,
Yes.
Spelman,
Yes.
Wolfile,
Yes.
Meinhardt,
Yes.
Mayor Folkins.
Yes, motion carries.
The next request is for the Made in Michigan Artisan and Farm Market to allow them to operate from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Thursdays and Saturdays from June 1st to October 31st, 2017. And that would be in their normal location.
Do we have anybody here?
I just want to say a few words.
Okay, you're welcome to.
We are also having Senior Saturdays starting this year for everybody. We're working with the senior centers and other senior centers around the state of Michigan and other retirement facilities to bring them to Cadillac and into town and stuff. I'm working with a couple of restaurant owners now. I don't have any names yet for finalization that will offer discounts for seniors on Senior Saturday and with the Council on the Aging.
So will you have activities down there for them? or
Well,
just
we're
them
gonna have
to come in and
seating.
shop?
We're gonna have seating for sure. And our vendor supplies, our craft supplies and stuff that we have for our market. And then along with, they want, let's say we have a senior center coming from downstate, a group from, take a bus, come up here. They can come to our market, they see our lake, they can see our park, they can go to restaurant A, restaurant B, and get a discount lunch.
Nice, very nice.
That's where I'm working at it
Yeah,
right
always
now,
like
I have good vendors, I want to keep good vendors, and we need customers.
Mhm.
My concept is to bring to mind people in Michigan that Cadillac has a great artisan and farm market.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, if there's no further discussion, I will go ahead and make a motion to approve the request for the Made in Michigan Artisan and Farm Market to operate from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Thursdays and Saturdays, beginning June 1st to October 31st, 2017.
Support.
Councilmember Spelman,
Yes.
Wolfile,
Yes.
Meinhardt,
Yes.
Shippers,
Yes.
Mayor Folkins.
Yes, motion carries. That takes us to city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council. The first item on the City Manager's report is essentially a request for the City Council to authorize the City Manager and staff to put together a report that you could then review and set a public hearing for with respect to a request that came in for creating a special assessment for alley paving. The process is somewhat of a long one. This is the very first step of it where we're bringing to the council's attention that we've received a petition from a group of neighbors that's in your packet for the paving of an alley that goes north and south, bordered by 5th Street to the north, 2nd Avenue on the east, and 4th Street on the south, and 3rd Avenue on the west. A majority, if not all, of the neighbors, at least according to the petition that's in your packet, have come forward and said that they're interested in doing this, subject to tonight's city council motion that would essentially dictate to me and the staff to go ahead and prepare the report. We would then set a public hearing that would also provide us with, in this report, that we'll put together the special assessment role so that the neighbors then understand the full costs that would be involved for paying for this improvement. It's certainly possible that down the road, before the council approves the role, the neighbors decide that it's no longer a good idea, and in that case, we would advocate that we don't approve the role. But at least at this point in the process, the neighborhood has come to us. They understand that they would be responsible for bearing all of the costs, and this is just a necessary piece to moving it forward and then preparing the report for council's discussion at a later point in time.
So, I have a question in regards to this. There's a lot of neighbors in that neighborhood, and how many is required on a petition like this to actually move forward with a project like this?
Bruce can certainly correct me if I am incorrect, but the city council could actually specially assess any property with or without neighborhood support. We like to do this only when the neighbors come to us and say that they're interested in doing this. But there is not, to my knowledge, a minimum requirement of support in order for the city to legally put a special assessment in place.
So there will be a public hearing?
Of course,
And
yes.
everybody will be notified?
Yes.
So if there is any, one that's really opposed to it or more, we'll probably hear about it.
And at this time, it's important that the city council understands that there has not been time spent yet by staff in developing a true engineer's estimate as to what the costs would be and how those costs would then be split between the property owners that have requested that this improvement be made. And so, you know, the property owners, as I understand, may have sort of a back of the envelope understanding as to what, you know, what it may cost. But really, until we go through and do the work and do that estimate and get a better idea as to how it's gonna cost them, you know, we just don't know at this point, so.
Motion to refer the special request petition to the city manager for a report and recommendation.
Support.
Councilmember Wolfile?
Yes.
Meinhardt?
Yes.
Shippers?
Yes.
Coleman?
Yes.
Mayor Folkins?
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council. Simply coincidental, the next item on the city manager's report is an update with respect to the special parking assessment. The city of Cadillac, for many years within the Business Improvement District, which is the same geographic boundary as our Downtown Development Authority, has had a special parking assessment in place. The special parking assessment last was put in place approximately 5 years ago and is coming due. Every 5 years, the city has been putting in a new special parking assessment to pay and offset the cost of maintaining the public parking areas that all of the businesses within that district are able to benefit by. It helps to pay for specifically the winter maintenance of those lots, but also regular maintenance and replacement of those lots as well. The DDA/Business Improvement District Board and a subcommittee of that board have been talking over the last couple of months about renewing the assessment. As I mentioned, it's coming due, and have been talking about renewing it in time for it to be in place by the July tax bills. We are on the correct critical path at this point in time, and at the next city council meeting, we'll have a report that we'll be providing along with a request to schedule the public hearing accordingly for this item. So basically carrying us through the second meeting this month and then into June will be the process that we'll be looking at for putting the new special assessment back in place. I was here for the one that was done 5 years ago. There's been some, I would call them improvements made by the BID group and the DDA group to the role, and we'll be excited to help explain those in much greater detail at your next meeting. I just wanted to bring that out publicly, that it's been worked on for a couple of months so far, and we'll be looking at it later this month.
Thanks.
Okay. Then this evening in our packets, we have the minutes and reports from the Wexford County Airport Authority and the Downtown Development Authority. And at this time, we'll open the floor for our second public comment. And same as the first public comment, when you come forward, if you would just please say your name and then write your name and your address. And please keep your comments 3 minutes or less.
Don Koschmider, Cadillac, Michigan. Again, talking about medical marijuana facilities. There are gonna be some communities that opt out of this. There are gonna be some that opt in. I personally would like to see Cadillac opt in. They say it's a gray area in our law. If there was a gray area, it was cleared up last December when the governor signed this into law. There's a lot of dispensaries, provision centers, safe transfer points in Michigan all over the place right now. It's just county by county. Patients that can't find safe transfer points to get their medicine in a city that they're in because they can't grow their medicine, or they can't find a caregiver, or they've had a bad experience off Craigslist or behind the Roaring Twenties or getting ripped off, whatever their deal is, they need to find a safe transfer point to find their medicine. So when they can't get it in their own city or county, they have to drive to a neighboring county or Lansing or Traverse City. It's a hardship for them. So if you take a look at the figures and facts as the true facts, then you'll see that this is really helping our communities. And let's have more discussion on this, please, in the future. I'd like to have these. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Okay, seeing no one else, we'll go ahead and close public comment. And does anybody have anything for good of the order this evening?
I do. Where do you want to go?
I was just gonna remind people about the parks cleanup. Saturday, starts at 9 o'clock. If folks haven't volunteered yet and are interested in location, please contact the city. Ask for our Director of Public Works and Engineering, Bruce DeWitt, and he can assign you a location if you're interested, or you can certainly go to any of our recreational areas and help volunteer.
Let's jump in.
Yep.
Good. Are we doing a garden at that time or later?
Later.
Okay. All right. This week, the Cadillac Mayor's Youth Council is going to be working with both the Sheriff's Department and the Cadillac City Police on Project Sticker Shock, which is a public awareness program to let adults know that buying alcohol for underage youth is not only dangerous but against the law. This next weekend is prom, and we're in prom season and graduation season, and this is a time for where people are having parties and getting together and buying alcohol for underage people. This is also a time of year when there is a spike in alcohol-related fatalities in vehicles for that same age group. So the Cadillac Mayor's Youth Council, and myself included, ask that all adults please refrain from supplying illegal alcohol to underage drinkers. The Youth Council is going to be out at various vendors throughout the city, I believe on Wednesday, and they have these stickers that look like stop signs that say stop and then give some of the consequences for this. And they're going to put them on multi-packs of beer and all those pop alcoholic drinks. Good Lord, who are they marketing to? Anyway, so it's an awareness thing for our community. That's pretty much it. And the Youth Council will be out there cleaning up the park. Just come on down and join us. Rain or shine, wear your garden boots, bring garden gloves and a rake, and it's a good time. And then there's a free lunch, community lunch afterwards at Kenwood Park at the pavilion. So see you there.
Anyone else? I have to ask about the Rotary auction.
Oh, yeah.
Since the Rotary auction they were raising money for our White Pine Trailhead, so.
It was a very successful event Friday night. I don't know how much money was raised yet. It always takes a while for that number to come back in, but we appreciate everybody in the community's support for that annual event. It went very well.
Good time.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, then we will go ahead and adjourn the meeting.
Saturday, folks, I'm going to be in Vassar.